Imagine waking up one morning in 2026 and realizing that despite working hard every day, your bank balance still feels fragile. Groceries cost more than they used to. Subscriptions quietly drain your account. And the future feels uncertain. Now imagine a different version of that same morning. You check your savings account and feel calm. You know your bills are covered. You know you're preparing for emergencies. And most importantly, you know your money is finally working for you instead of disappearing. The difference between these two futures is not luck, it's strategy. Saving money in 2026 is no longer about cutting coffee or skipping small pleasures. It's about building smart systems that protect you from rising costs, digital temptations, and emotional spending. This is the year where saving becomes intentional, not accidental, and the people who master it will be the ones who feel free when others feel stressed. Let's begin with the most powerful shift you can make, changing the way you think about saving itself. Most people treat saving as something they do only if money is left over. At the end of the month, they look at their account and say, "If there's anything remaining, I'll save it." But here's the truth. There is almost never anything left over. Life expands to consume whatever money you earn. Smart savers in 2026 flip this formula completely. They save first and spend later. Think of your income as a pie. Before you give any slice to rent, food, entertainment, or shopping, you take a slice for your future self. That slice goes directly into savings or investments. Not after, not someday. This is not about discipline, it's about automation. In 2026, technology can become your greatest ally. You can set up automatic transfers that move money into a savings account or investment fund the moment your salary arrives. You don't need to think. You don't need willpower. The decision is already made. A young teacher named Sarah did this in 2025. She started with just 5% of her income. At first, it felt small and insignificant, but within 1 year, she had built an emergency fund that could cover 3 months of expenses. When her car broke down unexpectedly, she didn't panic. She didn't borrow. She paid in cash and moved on with her life. That moment changed her relationship with money forever. Saving is not about how much you make. It's about how early you decide your future matters. Now let's talk about where most money leaks happen in 2026. Invisible spending. These are not big purchases. They are small, quiet transactions that happen automatically. Streaming services you forgot about. App subscriptions you barely use. Food delivery fees that add up. Premium features you signed up for once and never canceled. In the past, people used cash and physically felt their spending. In 2026, spending is silent. One tap, one click, and the money is gone. The smart way to save in this digital age is not to stop spending, but to audit your spending. Once every 3 months, you should sit down and look at your bank statement and subscriptions. Ask one simple question. Does this expense improve my life? Not do I like it, not am I used to it, but does this actually bring value to my future? A man named David discovered he was paying for 4 streaming platforms and 2 cloud services he never used. Canceling them saved him over $120 a month. That's more than $1,400 a year. He didn't change his lifestyle. He simply became aware. This is the power of awareness. Money leaks stop when you shine light on them. In 2026, smart saving also means designing your environment so that spending becomes harder and saving becomes easier. For example, if your phone is full of shopping apps, notifications, and discount alerts, you are constantly being invited to spend. Every buzz is a temptation. Every ad is a story telling you that happiness is one purchase away. Smart savers remove friction from saving and add friction to spending. They delete shopping apps. They turn off promotional notifications. They use one main card for necessities and keep another account just for savings. They make saving automatic and spending intentional. This isn't about becoming extreme, it's about becoming conscious. And now comes the deeper shift that separates ordinary savers from powerful financial thinkers, turning saving into a mission, not a restriction. Most people see saving as deprivation. They say, "I can't buy this because I'm saving." But the smartest people say, "I'm saving because I'm building something bigger." They attach emotion to their goal. Instead of "I want to save money," they say, "I want freedom. I want security. I want choices. I want to retire without fear." Money is just a tool. The real goal is peace of mind. A young couple decided that their savings goal was not just a number, but a future home. Every time they skipped unnecessary spending, they imagined their living room, their kitchen, and their children playing in that space. Suddenly, saving was not painful. It was meaningful. This emotional connection is what keeps people consistent. In 2026, saving is not about hiding money in a bank account. It's about creating space for investing. Because once you save your first layer of security, your money can begin to grow. And that brings us to the bridge between saving and investing. Smart savers don't stop at storing money. They prepare it for growth. Even small amounts, when invested wisely, can multiply over time. This is how saving transforms into wealth building. But before you invest, you must protect yourself. You need an emergency fund. You need stability. You need to know that one unexpected expense will not destroy your progress. This is why the first smart way to save money in 2026 is building a system that pays your future first and eliminates invisible waste. And once this foundation is in place, something interesting happens. You begin to notice patterns. You see how your habits shape your results. You realize that saving is not about sacrifice, but about alignment. Alignment between who you are today and who you want to become tomorrow. As we move forward, we will explore how to save not just by cutting expenses, but by thinking differently about income, lifestyle, and long-term growth. Because the next level of saving in 2026 is not only about keeping money, it's about making smarter decisions that multiply your opportunities and protect your future in ways most people never learn. And this is where the journey truly begins. Once you have built the foundation of saving first and eliminating invisible spending, something powerful begins to happen. You start to see money not as something that disappears, but as something that can be directed. And when you reach that point, the next smart move in 2026 is learning how to save by designing your lifestyle instead of fighting it. Most people try to save money by forcing themselves to live smaller. They cut joy, they cut comfort, they cut everything that makes life feel rewarding. This usually works for a few weeks and then collapses. The problem is not lack of discipline. The problem is lack of structure. Smart savers don't ask, how can I spend less? They ask, how can I live better with what I already have? This shift changes everything. For example, instead of eating out 5 times a week, they learn to create simple, satisfying meals at home, not as punishment, but as a new habit. Instead of paying for expensive entertainment, they build routines that bring value without draining their wallet. Walking, reading, learning, exercising, or creating something of their own. A young professional named Michael realized that his biggest expense was convenience. Ride-sharing, food delivery, and impulse shopping were quietly destroying his ability to save. He didn't remove them completely. He gave them boundaries. He decided that convenience would be a reward, not a default. By doing this, he saved hundreds every month without feeling trapped. In 2026, lifestyle design is the secret weapon of financial freedom. It is the art of building a life that costs less but feels richer. Now let's talk about the second smart way to save money in 2026. Making your money work while you sleep. Saving alone is not enough anymore. Inflation eats away at idle cash. The people who win financially are not just savers, they are builders. They turn saved money into invested money. This does not mean taking wild risks or becoming a stock market expert overnight. It means understanding one simple truth. Money grows when it is placed where it can multiply. A woman named Anna began investing just $100 a month into low-cost index funds. She didn't try to time the market. She didn't chase trends. She simply stayed consistent. After several years, her money began growing faster than she could save it. What started as discipline turned into momentum. This is the power of compounding. Compounding is not magic. It is patience. It is the reward for consistency. And in 2026, it is one of the smartest ways to protect your future. The mistake most beginners make is waiting for the perfect time to invest. They say, I'll start when I earn more. But the truth is, starting small today beats starting big tomorrow. Time is more valuable than amount. Saving and investing must work together like two hands. One protects you, the other grows you. And when this partnership is built, the third smart way to save money in 2026 becomes clear. Increase your income without increasing your lifestyle. This is where many people fail. They get a raise, they upgrade their car, they upgrade their house, they upgrade their spending, and they stay broke. Smart savers do the opposite. When their income increases, their savings increase first. They keep their lifestyle stable and allow the difference to strengthen their financial position. A man named Robert received a promotion at work. Instead of celebrating with expensive purchases, he increased his savings rate from 10% to 20%. Within 2 years, he had built a strong investment portfolio and an emergency fund. His life looked the same on the outside, but completely different on the inside. This is called lifestyle control. It does not mean living poorly. It means choosing long-term freedom over short-term pleasure. In 2026, side income is also becoming one of the smartest tools for saving. Digital platforms allow people to create small streams of income from skills, content, or services. Even an extra few $100s a month can change your savings ability dramatically. But the key is not how much you earn. It is what you do with what you earn. If side income becomes extra spending, nothing changes. If side income becomes extra saving and investing, everything changes. Now let's talk about one of the most emotional barriers to saving. Fear. Fear of missing out. Fear of being different. Fear of saying no. Many people overspend, not because they want things, but because they want belonging. They spend to fit in. They spend to avoid feeling left out. Smart savers build confidence in their path. They understand that every dollar saved is a step toward independence. They do not measure their success by what they buy, but by what they control. A young man once said, "I realized I didn't need to look rich. I needed to be free." That sentence holds the secret of modern saving. In 2026, the strongest form of wealth is not luxury. It is choice. Choice to leave a bad job. Choice to handle emergencies. Choice to invest in opportunities. Choice to rest without fear. Saving creates choices. Investing multiplies them. And as this mindset grows, something powerful begins to happen. You stop reacting to money. You start directing it. You stop feeling anxious about the future. You start preparing for it. The final smart way to save money in 2026 is not a tactic. It is an identity. You become someone who plans. Someone who thinks long-term. Someone who understands that small actions repeated daily build powerful outcomes. Saving is no longer something you try to do. It becomes something you are. And when this identity takes root, your financial life begins to change naturally. You notice opportunities where others see limits. You build habits where others feel trapped. You grow while others struggle. As we move into the final stretch of this journey, the focus shifts from individual actions to a complete financial philosophy, a way of thinking that ties saving, investing, and living into one powerful system that supports your future instead of draining your present. Because the real goal in 2026 is not just to save more money, it is to build a life that is stable, intentional, and free. When saving and investing become part of who you are, something remarkable happens. You no longer chase money. You build a relationship with it, and that relationship is based on clarity, not chaos. The final stage of smart saving in 2026 is about creating a long-term system that protects your future and keeps you emotionally strong when life becomes uncertain. At this point, saving money is no longer just a habit. It becomes a strategy for living. The first truth you must accept is that financial security is not built in one big moment. It is built in thousands of small decisions. Every choice you make today sends a message to your future self. Every dollar you save is a vote for stability. Every dollar you waste is a vote for stress. Most people underestimate how powerful these small choices are. They wait for dramatic change, a higher salary, a lucky break, or a sudden opportunity. But real financial progress comes from consistency. A woman named Lisa started with one simple rule: no emotional spending. When she felt stressed or tired, she didn't open shopping apps. She opened her budget. She reminded herself of her goals. Over time, she noticed that money stopped being a source of escape and became a source of strength. Her savings grew, but more importantly, her confidence grew. In 2026, emotional control is one of the most important financial skills you can learn. Spending is often emotional. Saving must be intentional. This leads us to another powerful idea. Clarity creates calm. People who track their money feel less anxious than those who avoid it. When you know where your money goes, you feel in control. When you don't, your mind fills the gap with fear. You don't need complex spreadsheets, you need awareness. A simple system that shows your income, your expenses, and your savings is enough. This clarity turns money from a mystery into a map. A young entrepreneur once said, "The moment I started tracking my money, I stopped fearing it." This is the difference between chaos and confidence. Now let's talk about future-proof saving. In 2026, the world is changing fast. Jobs evolve. Technology replaces roles. Markets move unpredictably. The smartest savers prepare not just for today, but for uncertainty. This means building 3 layers of protection. First, an emergency fund that can cover unexpected events. Second, long-term investments that grow over time. Third, skills and knowledge that increase your earning power. Money alone is not security. Adaptability is security. People who continue learning about finance, investing, and personal growth will always have an advantage. They can adjust when things change. They can see opportunities where others see risk. This is why saving in 2026 is deeply connected to education. Every book you read about finance, every video you watch, every lesson you apply strengthens your future. Knowledge compounds just like money. Another key principle of smart saving is patience. The world celebrates speed, fast money, fast results, fast success. But true wealth moves slowly and silently. It grows in the background while life continues. A man who invested consistently for 10 years once said, "The hardest part was not starting, it was staying. Staying when the market fell, staying when others quit, staying when progress looked invisible." This is the test of discipline. In 2026, those who win financially will not be the loudest or the boldest. They will be the calmest and the most consistent. Now let's return to the heart of this journey. Why saving matters at all. Saving is not about becoming rich. It is about becoming safe. Safe from panic. Safe from desperation. Safe from living paycheck to paycheck. It gives you the power to make decisions based on values instead of fear. A father once said, "My savings didn't make me wealthy. It made me brave. Brave enough to change careers. Brave enough to start a business. Brave enough to help his family without worry." This is the emotional side of saving that people rarely talk about. Money is not just numbers. It is energy. It is time. It is choices. And when you save wisely, you protect all 3. The 5 smart ways to save money in 2026 are not tricks. They are principles. Save first, not last. Eliminate invisible spending. Design a lifestyle that supports your goals. Turn savings into investments. Build emotional discipline and long-term systems. These ideas work together. They form a structure that grows stronger every year you use it. And now, the most important truth: you do not need to be perfect to begin. You only need to begin. Start with one habit, one change, one decision. Because once motion begins, momentum follows. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Not richer in appearance, but stronger inside. You understand your money. You trust your process. You feel prepared for what comes next. This is what smart saving creates. Not luxury, not ego, but peace. In a world full of uncertainty, peace is the greatest wealth you can own. And the journey toward that peace does not start in the future. It starts today.